Yep.
Okay, we're live. Okay, we're now live.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I'll call to order the Wednesday, April 16th meeting of the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Jim, can you call the roll, please?
Vice Chair Shapiro.
Present.
Commissioner Bailey.
Present.
Commissioner Giraldo.
Present.
Commissioner Hedrick.
Present.
Commissioner Linden.
Present.
That is 5. We have quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. Under one motion, colleagues, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve both the commission agenda and the commission minutes from March 19, 2025.
So move.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Giraldo, a second by Commissioner Hedrick. With no discussion, Mr. Adams, if you could call the roll, please. You're on mute, but I bet you said Vice Chair Shapiro.
I sure did.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Bailey.
But aye.
Commissioner Giraldo.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Hedrick.
Aye.
Commissioner Linden.
Aye.
That's 5-0. I think, as a matter of course, Commissioner Linden should be abstaining from the minutes vote, however.
Oh, I apologize. I understand.
Thank you.
All right. Under general announcements, just want to note that the financial disclosure statement filing requirement reminder is April 30th. I hope, colleagues, you've all done your due diligence or are on your way to do it. We will move on to committee and board reports. We have the ERS Board of Trustees regular meeting minutes from March 4th, 2025. This is for information only. Any questions or thoughts or comments around that? Nothing, okay. So we'll move on to action items, and we will start with wage resolutions for all M-NCPPC employees. We've got 2 resolutions there, and we have Mr. Allen and Ms. King, who will be presenting.
Good morning and thank you. My name is Todd Allen, Corporate Human Resource Director, Department of Human Resources and Management. I have with me Bonnie King, our Manager of Classification and Compensation. In your packets, you have a request from Department Directors, Acting Executive Director Bill Spencer, the full classification and compensation team led by Bonnie King, and myself to approve Resolution 2505 and 2506. So we've submitted that in your packets. If you have any questions, we're here for you. Otherwise, we're requesting your vote on those 2 resolutions, 2505 and 2506. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions around this process? I hope there's no surprises. This is par for the course for us. Okay, all good. So then I'd look for a motion. Let's take these up separately. So a motion on the first resolution. I think Manny said so moved on mute.
I'll second, Mr. James.
We've got a motion
by.
by.
You could read lips.
I'm doing good. Doing good today. Motion by Commissioner Giraldo, a second by Commissioner Hedrick with no discussion. Mr. Adams, if you could call the roll, please.
Vice Chair Shapiro.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Bailey.
But aye.
Commissioner Giraldo.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Hedrick.
Aye.
Commissioner Linden.
Aye.
5-0. Thank you.
I think it was 4 ayes and a yes, but okay, we'll take 5-0. And resolution 2506, is there a motion?
Move approval, Mr. Chair. Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Giraldo, a second by Commissioner Bailey with no discussion. Mr. Adams, if you could call the roll, please.
Vice Chair Shapiro.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Bailey.
But aye.
Commissioner Giraldo.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Hedrick.
Yes, just to make sure Manny's not lonely.
Linden.
Yes, just to give it 3.
Motion passes. Thank you.
And Jim leaves it at that. Okay, we now move on to amendments to Administrative Practice 130, Organization and Functions of the Office of the Secretary Treasurer.
Mr. Chair, we
yes.
do have item 5B, which was a late delivery, was the resolution for the appointment.
Oh, I apologize.
TIN.
Yeah, no, my bad. I skipped right over that. This is an exciting one. We have an appointment of Shanna Bruton tie you on to the Merit System Board. You have, in the packet, you actually have a brief description of her background as well, and it's pretty impressive. I think she's going to be a very, very welcome addition to the team. And are there any questions or comments about this? Nothing, then I would look for a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Giraldo, a second by Commissioner Bailey. With no discussion, Mr. Adams, if you could call the roll, please.
Vice Chair Shapiro,
I vote yes.
Commissioner Bailey,
But I.
Commissioner Giraldo,
I vote yes.
Commissioner Hedrick,
Aye, just to mix things up.
Commissioner Linden,
He doesn't know what to do.
That's a rough one, Josh.
I'm sorry, I did not hear a vote from Commissioner Linden.
Oh, sorry. Aye.
Thank you very much. Motion passes.
Okay, and thank you. And thank you for your service. If you are on the line, I'm not sure you are. No, okay. Move on to now item 5C, amendments to Administrative Practice 130, Organization and Functions of the Office of Secretary Treasurer. We have Ms. Harvin, Mr. Beckham.
Good morning,
This
Mr. Vice.
is an action item as well.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Vice Chair, Commissioners. Michael Beckham will present this item.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Tracy. Michael Beckham, Corporate Policy and Archives Chief for the record. This item is item 5C in your packet, circle page 27. The Commission is asked this morning to approve amendments to Administrative Practice 130 for the organization and functions of the Office of the Secretary Treasurer and the Department of Finance. This practice establishes the core functions and responsibilities of the Department of Finance, and amendments are proposed at the request of the department to address a recent audit from the Inspector General concerning end-user security for the Commission's Enterprise Resource Planning, or ERP system. The audit recommended consolidating this function of managing end-user security under the Office of the Chief Information Officer, and the Corporate Policy Office will work to reflect that in a new organization and functions practice for the OCIO. The OCIO already manages end-user security for enterprise systems, and this consolidation is consistent with the agency's improvement of our cybersecurity position. All the other responsibilities of the Department of Finance related to administering and supporting financial, payroll, and timekeeping components of the ERP system remain unchanged. The particular amendments of note are on circle page 38 in the attachment. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and we request the Commission's vote of approval.
Thank you, Mr. Beckham. Colleagues, any questions for staff on this item? No questions. Thank you for the work, and it reminds me, I think it reminds all of us how the important work of the Office of Inspector General as well, and how they help us to become more efficient and effective and safe. So, appreciate your collaboration. So with that, I would look for a motion.
Move approval, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Giraldo, a second by Commissioner Bailey. No discussion. Mr. Adams, if you could call the roll, please.
Vice Chair Shapiro,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Bailey,
But I.
Commissioner Giraldo,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Hedrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Linden.
Aye.
Unanimous. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Now moving on to item 5D on our agenda, proposed amendments to Commission Park Rules and Regulations. We have Mr. Anaton from the Office of General Counsel. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, commissioners and staff. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Excellent. Wes Anaton, Deputy General Counsel for the record. And yes, today I'm presenting amendments to the Commission Park Rules and Regulations for your action and to approve them and adopt them. So this is circle page 43 in your packet. And I'm going to give just a little background on this topic, what the proposed amendments are, or at least the proposed amendments that are significant, and then leave it for some questions and comments. So in 2017, that's when the current park rules and regulations were approved by the commission. But in 2024, it was determined that they needed to be reviewed and potentially updated. And that decision was made in conjunction with our review process for CAPRA accreditation. So we did just that. We established a process for updating the rules and regulations. And what we did was we established a working group for that working group to review the current rules and regulations and propose any amendments if there were any. So we assembled a group and we determined that once we have made our proposed amendments, that we present them to the Montgomery County Parks Director and the Prince George's County Parks and Recs Director for approval. Once the directors approve, then we would present them to this commission for adoption. But then after that, we would review the rules and regulations every 3 years or when needed. And again, that was based on information that we received from the CAPRA accreditation team. So for this particular review, we assembled a working group that consisted of a couple of members from the Office of the General Counsel, Montgomery County Parks, Prince George's County Parks and Rec, and the Park Police. And altogether, we had 10 working group meetings that were held between April and November of 2024. And the results of the review led us to the determination that we do need to make a few significant amendments, which I will go through now. The first one was an addition of language allowing for revocation of permits. And the reason for that amendment was there were times when permits were granted and it was later determined that the granting of the permit was based on inaccurate or misleading information that had been submitted by the applicant. So we wanted to make express language there that we can revoke permits if they were granted based on inaccurate or incomplete or misleading information that was submitted by the applicant. The next significant amendment was to keep the commission properties and facilities 100% smoke-free. They were pretty much there in the current rules, but there was some language allowing for designated areas, and both parks directors said that we don't have designated areas, and they were both very clear that they wanted to keep our commission properties smoke-free. And again, thank you. Mike Dokes made me aware that I wasn't speaking to the chapters where these amendments were made. The first one, the addition of language allowing for revocation of permits, that's Chapter 3, Section 4F of the rules, and the smoking section, the smoking provision, is Chapter 4, Sections 3D and E. Next, Chapter 4, Sections 4B, we added language prohibiting indecent exposure and nudity, which stands to reason, but the current rules and regs mostly spoke to, sexual acts, but we did want to add language clearly stating that indecent exposure and nudity are prohibited. Chapter 4, Section 15A, we added language.
Hey,
Yes.
Wes, can we ask questions as we go along?
Sure. Yes, sir.
On the nudity, I assume you've taken this into account, but how do you take into account breastfeeding and?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indecent exposure and nudity, we did discuss that at length. Breastfeeding would not qualify as indecent exposure because because breastfeeding is not indecent. And nudity, as far as that's concerned, generally when an individual is breastfeeding, they're still covered.
Right.
So the breasts are covered by the child and they're typically still clothed. So after discussion, we determined that wouldn't be an issue for those individuals who are breastfeeding.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yes, sir. Chapter 4, Section 15A, we added language that the prohibition of weapons on park property does apply to people who possess a wear and carry permit, with the idea there being that we do not want weapons of any sort on park property for public safety reasons. But we did add language in that same section, that same chapter and section, subsection B, that allows for retired law enforcement officers to possess weapons on park property. And that is that provision, adding that provision is not problematic. We did check in the Maryland code, and that provision is already there as well, allowing retired officers to carry their weapons when they have appropriate identification. Chapter 4, Section 20A, we removed the provisions concerning the return of lost objects. The reasoning there is because that's exceedingly difficult to enforce, first of all. And second of all, this is covered in Maryland Code Criminal Law Section 7-104. Essentially, if an item is lost and there's no way to determine who the item belongs to, they're not obligated to turn it in. It really, turning in lost items really centers around the ability to identify who that property belongs to. And generally speaking, on our properties, we're not dealing with that. So since it's covered in the criminal law as it was, and since it's very difficult to enforce, we didn't see the reason to keep that in the park rules and regs. It's truly on that person. So if somebody finds a lost wallet, sure, hey, it's on them to turn that in, because typically the wallet has ID in it. But if it's a basketball or a scooter or a article of clothing that doesn't have any form of identification on there, then they're not truly obligated to turn it in. So we thought that that's not necessary to keep in our rules and regulations. Chapter 4, Section 23, we added language concerning the burial or scattering of ashes or human or animal remains. That sounds odd, but we do get requests for scattering of ashes. And in my short time with the commission, it's come up a couple of times. And so we did add language. We looked at other national parks and also local parks in Maryland to see what their rules and regulations were concerning that. And so we did add provisions allowing it, but only under certain circumstances. But under no circumstances are people allowed to bury human remains or animal remains. And last but not least, Chapter 5, Section 12, we just added clarifying language surrounding permit requirements and occupancy requirements for use of our picnic areas. So those were the significant substantive changes. Nothing truly controversial, but we believe that those changes were necessary for this round of review, and we're seeking your approval and adoption. Pending any questions, that's all I have.
Yeah, Michael, I have a question, Commissioner Giraldo.
Yes, sir.
With regards to animals, and that they should always be on a leash. So we do have dog parks. So should there not be an exclusion for that? That if the dogs are in the dog park, they don't need to be leashed?
Yes, I can look at clarifying that, because dog parks are specifically meant for, and they're enclosed, and they're specifically meant for the dogs to be off leash. So that provision speaks to the open property. But right. If I can look at that, and we can clarify that if that's what the commission would like. Is that what you would like, sir?
Thank you. No further question.
Okay.
I think that's a helpful clarification.
Understood. So I can make that very easily. Obviously.
Other questions, colleagues? A lot of work went into this, and appreciate the collaboration with the department directors and other members of their teams. And I don't know if we have, I think, Mitty, I just saw you pop on. If there's anyone from DPR on the Prince George's side, anything to add, or are we good to go?
Bill Tyler here, Department of Parks and Recreation. We are good to go. Had great exchange, and we are very comfortable with all the changes.
Absolutely agreed.
Okay, great. All right, great to hear. Appreciate it, everybody. With no further discussion on this, this is also an action item. Colleagues, what's your pleasure on this item?
Move approval, Mr. Chair.
Second, and well done.
Got a motion by Commissioner Giraldo, a second by Commissioner Bailey with no discussion. Mr. Adams, if you could call the roll, please.
Vice Chair Shapiro.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Bailey.
But aye.
Commissioner Giraldo.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Hedrick,
Aye.
Commissioner Linden,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. And again, thanks, Mr. Anaton and folks from Parks and Rec.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have item 5E, follow-up on GLP-1 drug update. Are we taking this up now, Mr. Spencer, or is it okay to put this off for a later meeting?
Yes, forgive me for not amending it at the beginning. But yes, we will withdraw this presentation for today, since there were many people who aren't here who had a keen interest in this topic, and we will present it at the next commission meeting.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Next, we have officers' reports. These are for information only. The executive director's report. We have no report from the secretary treasurer. The general counsel's report. There is a legislative update, which we may want to carve out a little bit of time for. But colleagues, any questions for the executive director on his reports? Seeing none, I'll turn to our general counsel, and if we could have a brief, if I may ask your indulgence, a brief legislative update, Ms. Borden, for you or Ms. Balcom-Colbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, or Mr. Vice Chair. This is Deborah Borden, General Counsel. So we don't actually have an update for you. I can answer any questions if anyone has a burning question. We are going to do our big update next month when we have the chair here already specifically wanted to be here for that briefing. So we will have our year-end wrap up for the legislative session. We also are available to come to planning board again if there's a request to do so before the May meeting to talk about the more interesting and controversial bills like housing, like solar. That just briefly, the housing bill did not pass. The solar bill did. But the solar bill from the initial introduction looked a lot different by the time the bill passed. So we can go through that. We will be going through that very carefully with staff to understand our responsibilities and our role. But we can, save that briefing for May, or we can come to you at the planning board.
Okay, we can, Artie and I can work with our respective teams and make a decision about that, but it sounds fine. Appreciate that. Colleagues, if there's no questions for Ms. Borden, again, you can figure out with Artie and Manny, Dorothy, we can talk about how we want to approach it on our side. Then we will move on to our closed session. The closed session will be brief, and then we'll come back into open session to close out the meeting. Pursuant to the Maryland General Provisions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, Section 3-305B9, a closed session is proposed to conduct collective bargaining negotiations or consider matters that relate to the negotiations. I'd look for a motion to go into executive session.
So move. Second.
I've got a motion and a second by Vice Chair Bailey and a motion and a second by Commissioner Giraldo. And Jim, I'll let you sort it out. No, motion by Vice Chair Bailey, a second by Commissioner Giraldo. With no discussion, Mr. Adams, if you could call the roll, please.
Vice Chair Shapiro.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Bailey.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Hedrick.
Aye.
Commissioner Linden.
Aye.
5-0. We'll see you in closed session. Thank you.
Okay, and then we'll come right back into open session to close out the meeting afterwards. See you all in closed session. no further business before us. We just met in executive session to discuss collective bargaining updates. There is no further business before us. Colleagues, without objection, Ms. Bailey, without objection, we are adjourned. Thanks everybody for your time, and thanks for your indulgence around managing the time of the meeting. I really appreciate it.
No
See.
problem. Thanks. everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.